Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the structure of human tooth. So as you can see in this picture, this is the longitudinal section of the human tooth. Okay. And this part is actually known as gum. Gum is clearly visible inside the mouth of every person. Now, as you can see in the picture, the portion of the tooth which is present above the gum is known as crown. And the portion of the tooth which is present inside the gum, or the portion of the tooth which is embedded inside the gum, is actually known as root. Okay. Now, if you look carefully at this picture, the outermost part of the tooth, which forms the part of a crown, is actually known as enamel. So enamel is actually white in color. Okay. It has large amount of calcium deposited in it, and this is the hardest substance produced by our body. Okay, so enamel is the hardest substance produced by our body, and nothing can harm enamel except acids. So enamel can only be dissolved by the acids. Okay, so enamel is white in color. It is the hardest substance produced by a body. Okay, it has large amount of calcium deposited in it, and it can only be dissolved by acids. Now, next to enamel, the second part of the tooth is dentine. Okay, so this yellow color portion, you can see here in the picture, this yellow color portion is known as dentine. Now you can see here carefully, the dentine starts from crown. Okay, so dentine is a part of tooth which is present in the crown, as well as it is present in the root of the tooth. Okay, so it is present in the crown as well as it is present in the root of the tooth. Okay, and here this very thin white color line is actually known as cement. Okay, so this line is actually known as cement, or the another name is cementum. Okay, so if you look carefully at the diagram, dentine is actually situated between enamel. Okay, dentine is situated between enamel and between the cement of the tooth. Inside dentine, we have some channels, and in these channels, living cytoplasm is present. The cytoplasm which is present inside the living cell of human body. So the similar type of cytoplasm is also present in the channels found in the dentine. Okay. The third part of the human tooth is pulp cavity, and it is also known as dentine pulp. Now this pulp cavity is rich in nerves, blood vessels, and lymph vessels. So we have blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerves present inside the pulp cavity. The function of blood vessels or lymph vessels is to provide the cytoplasm in the dentine channel with all the nutrients and oxygen. Okay, so inside dentine we have different channels, and in all these channels we have living cytoplasm. And the function of these blood vessels or lymph vessels present inside the pulp cavity is to provide these channels or the cytoplasm inside the channel with nutrients, okay, and oxygen gas. Understood? And these nerves which are present inside the pulp cavity is actually highly sensitive to different stimuli. For example, when we get toothache, okay, so we are actually able to detect this toothache because of the nerves present inside the pulp cavity. Okay. The next part of the human tooth is cement. The another name of the cement is cementum. You can see here in the diagram from this cement, okay, the fibers are coming out, okay, and these fibers actually attach the entire tooth, or these fibers actually attach the root of the tooth with the jawbone. Okay, so this dotted structure here is actually jawbone, and this jawbone is attached to the tooth with the help of these fibers which are protruding out of cement. Okay, and these fibers are present because these fibers allow slight movement to the tooth when we are actually biting anything, or maybe when we are chewing the food. Okay, so when we are chewing the food or we are biting any food, at that time slight movement is provided to the root of the tooth with the help of these fibers, okay, which attach tooth to the jawbone. Okay, this is important because if the tooth will be very still or it will remain intact, okay, so what will happen? The tooth might break. Okay, the teeth might break. That's the reason these fibers are present in every tooth. Okay, and these fibers attach the tooth with the jawbone. Understood? Now, if you'll see here, enamel, we'll just revise. Enamel covers the crown of the tooth. It is made up of calcium, and it is the hardest substance produced by a body. Okay, it can be dissolved only by the acids. Then dentine is a tissue which forms the tooth from the dental crown to the tooth root, situated inside the enamel and the cementum. So this point I have already explained you, that dentine is actually situated between enamel and the cementum or cement. It is hard like bone but not as hard as enamel. The hardest substance produced by our body is enamel, and dentine is actually having some channels in it, and these channels have living cytoplasm. Then we have pulp cavity or dentine pulp. Okay, so dentine pulp or pulp cavity is actually present in the middle of the tooth. Okay, and it contains blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers. So this pulp cavity has blood vessels or lymph vessels. These lymph vessels or blood vessels supplies nutrients, that is food and oxygen, to the dentine. And the last part is cementum. Okay, so this tissue covers the root of the tooth, and it has fibers growing out of it. So these fibers actually attach the tooth to the jawbone. Okay, the tooth is attached to the jawbone with the help of fibers which are growing out of the cementum. And these fibers are present, hence it provides a slight movement to the tooth while biting and chewing of the food. Okay, this is important. Okay, so the biting or chewing of the food becomes easier and painless because of these fibers present inside the tooth. Okay, because of the fibers present inside the tooth which attach tooth with the jawbone. So we have discussed the structure of human tooth. Okay, in next video we'll start with chemical digestion of food. Take care till then. Bye bye.